All right. Welcome back. Circling South Sports Podcast. I have my O'Day brother here, Milton Hopkins Jr. How you doing today, Milton?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm okay. It's Milton, right? I don't want to
Yeah.
okay, I got you. Don't want to say something wrong. So I'm just going to get right into O'Day here just off the bat. What led up to you ultimately attending O'Day High School? How did that come to be?
Well, it started when my best friend Daniel Thomas was going there, and I wanted to go to school with him. So then
Oh,
he
okay.
was the first person to mention O'Day to me, and I didn't know anything about it, so I just looked into it and tried to apply and get into it just because I wanted to go to school there. And thankfully, they were able to help me because I was a late apply and just accept me. And then ever since then, I fell in love with it before because I had a shadow day with him. So that was
Hmm.
my first experience. So then they were just able to just take me in as a student. And I was thankful for that.
It's always really cool to hear, asking your classmates or other people how they ended up at O'Day, because I know several people who just never thought they'd go to an all boys school or some like O'Day, and obviously they ended up there.
Hmm.
So obviously you're not done yet. You've got your, well, are you going through your senior year right now?
Yep, senior year.
How would you say that you've changed since you entered as a freshman?
I feel like I changed more so, I'm matured more. I know I'm very I became very more outgoing as terms of being more respectful, more disciplined and stuff. And O'Day shaped me for that. And I'm able to easily become more interactive with other more my peers and stuff because I'm really kind of shy at first, but then I'm become more comfortable just showing more of who I am as a person. And then as a football aspect of or the athletics of it, it just make me better as an athlete because I love sports and it helped me become kind of a good recruit in for the next level. So I guess that's what made O'Day better for me.
Oh yeah, obviously, you still got that year to go, but I'm sure it's easy to just see the change after even a year, you know.
Mhm.
So I think you've touched on it a little bit, but what is your experience overall been like at O'Day? And you have touched on it a little bit. What has O'Day helped you with up to this point?
O'Day has helped me with knowing what's important because yeah, you look at it as it's all boys, but that's not really important when you're just going there for school and sports. So really it's just that and also just the teachers are helpful, the staff is helpful, and even my O'Day brothers is helpful. So it's all just a one big family. So it's really just nobody's left behind, nobody's struggling. It's just everybody helps each other, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And do you have any sort of best memories that stick out from? I don't know what house you're in, but stuff like house stuff, from house cups to house games to house activities, or from sports, or even stuff in the classroom.
Really just the memories really just the house cup stuff, actually just the competitive aspect. It just shows everybody's competitive and then we're all united into as one in a gym just playing sports. Everyone loves sports and stuff or love to watch it. So I really those are the best memories made.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's definitely really cool seeing people get into something where people on the outside, I think they kind of compare it to Harry Potter. If you've ever seen stuff, yeah, the houses, and I don't know, it's really fun. I was in Kilkenny and we had our run. I don't know what standings look like right now, but that was definitely something that you came to school and like, oh, we've got house football today or house basketball. That was a really cool thing that it did brought people together. Um, this is kind of a little fun one. Do you have a favorite place to eat around a day? Obviously, when things are normal.
I mean, the go-to really is just Yoshino's teriyaki, yeah, or the pho place. I like the sandwiches there, like the spam and egg, or really just overall the food's good. It's either between Yoshino's or the pho.
Oh yeah, I
But
got to go with the classics. I'm with you in that boat. So if you obviously, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure people from class. Well, no, pardon me, from teachers to even the stuff they've got on the wall now. brotherhood's a big thing, and they tell you about brotherhood. How would you describe the Ode brotherhood in your own words?
Well, describing all day brotherhood is just like a second family, really, because like not only like we're all boys and stuff, but like it's like many different types of personalities. Like you're not gonna meet the same type of people twice, really. So really, you just gotta like find certain type of like kids that you like mess with, and then like outside of that, you just gotta feel like find like same hobbies or like whatever you guys could just like agree on or something, just to figure out like if you guys are gonna be like cool for because it's hard to have a lot of friends in no day because like it's just tough to like be able to hang out with all of them because not all
Hmm.
hang out with each other too. So that's the thing.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you on that one. It is because everybody, at least for me, you generally get along with everyone, just because we're not as big as some of the other schools. But it is hard because you've got guys over here doing stuff on, different. It is kind of tough. I would agree with that. So this is one. If I don't know if you've had this personally, but I've had this a couple of times. If someone came up to you, whether it was a parent or even a student, not an O'Day student, but someone who was considering O'Day, came up to you and asked, they were thinking about it, and they just kind of wanted your advice, or they wanted to hear from you. What would you tell someone if they were considering going to O'Day and they were sort of on the fence still or unsure about it?
Well, all I would have to say is like only the school aspects is important to you, and if you want to like hone in on your athletic abilities and stuff, and just like being a part of like a second family where like you don't feel alone and everybody is helpful, then O'Day is the place for you. And I understand that like maybe like the tuition cost is expensive, but they're helpful on that as well. And I understand it's all boys, but like it's just school and sports. It's like that's all you have to. That's all you need.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely it puts me on the spot sometimes, because someone's like, "Oh, my son's considering O'Day," you know, what would you say? And it's like tough, but there's just some core things that I come back to like that. It's like O'Day definitely it is a second family just from seeing it from now. I say alum, but it's weird saying that after being removed from 2 years.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, there's definitely some things that I just always come back to when I get asked that question. This one might be kind of lengthy. So obviously, with the success of so many of the athletics teams across the board, from baseball's success year in and year out, a couple of years going to the state title and being in the playoffs. Basketball, obviously, with Paulo and Paul and John and Miles. I'm going to forget people's names. I don't want to forget names, but obviously, their run lacrosse has been incredible in recent years that I've followed. Soccer made the playoffs in the last eligible year. I know that they haven't been able to play because of the pandemic. Obviously, football. I mean, about football. The years past, and wrestling with Dustin, and I'm sure there's more. I'd hate to forget, but what is the success across the board? Sort of say to you about how things are done at O'Day and just the work that people put in, whether it's the athletes and the staff as well. What does that really say to you?
Really, it just says to me that like they're able to like help kids develop, but also it starts with just a commitment from the kids because it takes two, and it takes the kids to like be committed and want it, and then if they have those two type of things, then the coaching and like the strength coaching of it, they'll help you back. They just got to understand that you are committed and you want the best, and they'll drive you to be the best that you could be. And it's like they don't overdo things; they just do it perfectly that will fit and help your development. They don't try to stunt your growth. So they just be patient with you and just like help you develop year by year.
Yeah, because it's one thing, to I'm sure you can attest to that, but it's one thing to go and be a playoff team for 1 year, but to have consistency over years and to do it for so many of these sports, it's got to be something that the staff does things the right way, and just like you said, commitment. That's perfect. At least I think it perfect word. to use there. So I'm just going to jump into football now. What obviously, there are certain aspects that are obvious if you're a fan or you were there, you're watching last year's team that made the team successful from, just guys pulling together and the run game, obviously, in the defense. But what did you saw like in the locker room or with your brothers, and just being with those guys, what that you saw made the team so successful, whether it was just guys having each other's back or trusting each other? What made last year's team so successful in your eyes?
What made last year's team successful was we played like we were underdogs because coming in, we lost like over like 30 seniors of like many skill players and stuff. So like a lot of people didn't believe in us being successful. Even some of our own student staff or student body didn't think we were gonna do that great. So really we took that and we just played with hunger and just played as an underdog every game regardless of who we played. So and I feel like in the locker room really it's just people had each other's backs and we believed in each other that when I go out there in battle, I know that this guy next to me is going to have my back. So that's really what it was. And just like Coach Kohler, he was helpful with like making like stuff happen for us and like being flexible with his game plan. So because we had enough talent to do so. So it was just the coaching and the players coming as one.
Oh yeah, that's definitely, obviously if you weren't somebody, I know that some people don't really think about chemistry in a locker room, but I always feel like that's really important, because if you don't trust the guy next to you, it's some things you're just not going to be able to achieve. So it's definitely interesting to hear from your point of view, someone who was in the locker room, obviously being a leader there, uh, to hear what it was like in there, So, and it's perfect that you mentioned Coach Kohler. What impact would you say Coach Kohler has had on you?
The impact is that he made me look at the game of football in a different way. Like he's not with like the new style of like passing or like fancy plays and stuff, or like even like a fancy appearance. He just old school, like run the ball and just look as like it's a business trip. And then that just shows to me like, oh, I just gotta worry about just the game, not just about like the highlight reels or like the plays and stuff. And that's what changed me because many kids in my generation just looks at like highlight plays or like stuff that would just make them look good for social media, while
Oh yeah.
colors just like about the game and how you look live. So that's the change he had on me.
Do you this is always sort of a fun one to ask because I feel like a lot of people have something that sticks out to them in their time at O'Day. Do you have a favorite sort of Coach Kohler moment, something that was funny or stuck out to you?
I say when we played Eastside the first time, he called a play and like I called a wrong one, and it was a big time play in the middle of the game. It was like third and like 12, and it happened to work. So then I go to the sideline on a time, and and he starts getting on my head because it was the wrong play I called. But at the end of the day, it worked, and he wasn't entirely that mad. But like that's my favorite because like every time he's mad, it's just funny because he shouts out God. It's really funny.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely, it's oh yeah, God, Coach Kohler, miss the guy. It is interesting that you mentioned that. Obviously, something that at least I remember being able to watch it, um, and the way that whole game went down last year. What's it been like on it with for your experience that rivalry with Eastside? Because obviously, that's something that goes back in O'Day history, and I know that people know each other on each side now. Guys from O'Day know guys on each side, but it's still always sort of a chippy game. You know what I mean? It's hostile. It's not some just two teams don't know each other. What is that? What has been playing those guys been like for you?
I mean, the only chippiness happens like off the field, really, over like social media and stuff. But I don't really get into that. But really, it's a good rivalry, and you can just feel the tension once you like start playing. But it's not really like talking mess either during the game. It's about all seriousness. And that's the thing about like it's a rivalry, but it's rivalry with class at the end of the day too, because we respect each other and they understand we're good and we understand that they're good opponents as well. But we just keep everything off the field. So then like when we handle business and win or lose or anything, we just know that off the field, on the field, we respect each other, and then soon off the field, we'll just shake hands and just be cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'm gonna sort of switch gears here. Obviously, I've seen it a little bit on Twitter, but so you've talked about playing on the defensive side of the ball, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then I think I've seen linebacker a little bit in there, but has the coaching staff sort of spoken to you about a certain position, or is it kind of just sort of seeing perhaps multiple positions playing it, or is it just, or is there any sort of talk about that? Obviously, we don't have anything going right now, which sucks, but have you had those talks, with the staff at O'Day about playing anywhere specific on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, so after the season ended last year, Coach Kohler called me up and said like next year I'm gonna have to play defense, and then I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. But then um yeah, I had a preference. I was like, can I play like strong safeties more in the box and stuff? But then like a few days before practice, he moved me at free safety. And then at first I was kind of bummed because I was like telling everybody I'm playing strong safety and stuff like that. But then I came up to him talking about it. And then he said that why would I limit you to one side of the field when you could use the whole side, like the whole
Huh.
field? And I was like, that's a good point. So I just stopped arguing with him.
Oh yeah, huh? No, that's really cool because I mean I've seen a little bit of it. I know you follow Isaiah Simmons, and I'll get
Mhm.
into that a little bit, but that's pretty cool. So I'll get into that later. I touched on that a little bit. I'm gonna talk about that later though. Are there any specific areas of your game, going into, because I think it's still spring that you guys are scheduled to play, right? Is it still,
Mhm.
is there any, well, and then even going forward, are there any specific areas of your game that you want to improve on?
Really just everything really like from just a body standpoint, like I'm trying to bulk up because I know I'm kind of too slim for defense kind of. And then just work on like my speed, agility, change of direction, all that because free safety is tough because it's like the whole field. So I just got to be like more like quicker on my feet and stuff, and then really just like get into the playbook because it's a whole different position I'm learning. And then on top of that, like not only have to learn free safety, they said I could play strong safety too, just so I could have multiple positions they could use me at. So really, I feel like those are the two biggest things.
Definitely a lot to learn, huh? To play, yeah, jeez.
Yeah,
That's, damn, being quarterback and then playing, jeez. Hey, I mean, if you take the time to learn it, why not? Why not? These ones are going to be a little less serious, I guess. Do you have a funniest guy on the team? Is there somebody that you look at and say that's the funniest guy on the team, or do you have multiple guys that you could say that?
I think I think the funniest guys on the team is I say Taj, Taj Dials, Hayden McDonald, um, Justin Stetson, and I say Owen Prentice is funny when we're in the
Really? Huh.
yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I was just about to ask. Obviously, Owen uh, getting the spotlight that he has and committing to UW. Um, that was something I was going to ask about, just because it relates to the sales sports aspect of this podcast here. What's your relationship like with Owen?
Yeah, we have a strong bond, like it started when I first became like the starter at quarterback, really, because he seemed like I should have been the starter and the whole time. So really we just bonded and it started with like him giving me rides to like workouts and practice. And then soon after that I started coming over to his house for like dinner and whatnot. And then I started meeting his dad, his mom and stuff. But like really, yeah, that's just my guy, like we've been through it all and like he helped me throughout the season. I was able to help him as well. So it's really just like I'm happy for him to go to UW and stuff is and everything. And just hopefully that we could at the next level either play with each other or against each other.
Oh yeah, it's always cool because I'm sure you know that football is its own brotherhood. That locker room is a different bond. But even to have O'Day as well, I feel like that it's almost like doubles it. So that's really cool to hear. Just I don't know, maybe I just got a soft spot, but it's really cool to hear the brotherhood work the way it does. You know what I mean? So COVID sevens, I do want to talk about that. How did that come to be? Because I'm sure a lot of guys, they wanted to play ball. So how did that sort of get into gear? What happened to make that happen?
Well, it was in the summer. Like me and Hayden was doing like player led workouts for our team, so we could just be on the field and stuff together. And then I brought up, I said we should do like some 7-on-7 stuff. So like I texted like one of my other friends at his school just to like just play 7-on-7 against them. And then he was like, why don't we just invite more teams so we could have more than one game? I was like, you're right. So I just posted it on Snap or whatever. Next thing you know, like over like 60 people came. So then I was like, we were playing, and I was like, if bro, I was like, if I had this like more organized or something, it could be like bigger than what it is because like it was kind of like sloppy and stuff and like.
Yeah.
So then like the next like throughout the week, I was thinking of like ways to like make it like super organized. So then that and then the day came where like a lot of teams came. It was like 12 at first, and then I got interviewed by Brandon Huffman, and he was like, and before that, he was like, "We're gonna call these." I said, "COVID sevens," and I just said it just to be funny,
Oh
and then
yeah.
that's pretty catchy, and then that's how it started.
It's definitely cool to see that because I obviously Washington not being able to play till spring, and you know my thing is as long as like the right protocols are taken and all that, just to make sure people are safe. I don't see why not. You know what I mean? So it sucks, but um, to have that happen, I'm sure it helps a little bit. Obviously, I'm sure you'd like to be out there with the whole team,
Yeah.
but that was definitely something cool to see, just to see that evolve, because I remember seeing it sort of pick up. And then, as the weeks went by, sort of the team lists, I was like, wow, he's got, all these teams
Mhm.
playing each other. So I thought that was cool. Would you consider yourself like a commissioner of that when that all went down?
Yeah, I pretty much was like I was like, yeah, I created it, but like people like try to like bring like rules and stuff into it. But like whenever like a dispute goes down and stuff, people just look mainly for me. So I was like, yeah, like I'm like the glue of it all, basically.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely pretty cool to see. Do you have any favorite moments that you remember from those tournaments?
There's a lot of favorite moments. I say like we were playing Lincoln and then like some guy made a play on me and then like everybody swarmed on me and then like that's the biggest moment because like that's when the world felt normal, because everybody was laughing, having fun, just running and stuff. But like, yeah, for that like second, it just felt like nothing was going on. Like we were just having fun playing ball.
Oh yeah, I feel like in a time like this, with everything that's going on, even, with the election and obviously the pandemic, obviously, it was definitely good to see that happen because yeah, I mean, when you get something like that, like a sport, and you're around your friends, and to get all these other teams involved, it's I'm sure that that was pretty. I keep saying it, but that's obviously had to be pretty cool, and I think that was something that was really impressive to see that get all set up. So, um, moving into college here, obviously you're not in college yet, but a little bit to touch on that. Obviously, things have been different, with this most of this year, with how things have gone. That's no secret. What has the recruiting process been like so far for you? Because I know you've got some offers, but has that what has it been like on your end with the way things have gone?
really, like, if COVID never hit, then, like, I feel like I would have been in a better spot, but unfortunately, it's not. So, really, it's just, like, it's been cool, like, talking to a lot of, like, different coaches I wouldn't think I would, but, like, really just it's been kinda quiet lately or the past few months. I mean, I hear, like, stuff from, like, Boise State or, like, Wazoo and stuff here and there, but it's just mainly been quiet. But yeah, I have like a few offers, but like some of them was like taken away because due to like scholarship money. So
Mm.
it's like pretty tough to like go through that. So really, I just have like one offer from Eastern Washington.
Shoot. And yeah, fuck, that does suck hearing about that because it does suck, but that's the way it is right now, and I hate to say that, but it is. I'm sure that has to be tough, So, were you able to take any visits at all yet? I mean, before this, or was it sort of? Have you not gotten to that point?
I've taken before even COVID, I seen like Oregon, and
There you
but
go.
literally that was before everything hit because we were at a tournament that week, and then we were supposed to go to Oregon State the next week, but that's when it hit and like spiked and everything, so everything got canceled and we weren't able to go.
So all that sort of been on hold then, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, shoot. So we did talk about this a little bit, and I did learn about the free safety part, but do you sort of, I'm sure it's changed, but did you consider yourself in any one position, or would you rather label yourself as an athlete, with the way that things have gone, similar to, Isaiah Simmons, who has, seeing that stat sheet of where he's taken snaps at, would you consider yourself an athlete rather than just playing one position?
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I consider myself an athlete because I feel like I could play multiple spots, but then that's what I feel like makes people most valuable is that like when like people are like in like taking like investment in them, like say like a scholarship offer or stuff into like an athlete, they're not just offering one spot. They're offering like like five or six for like one scholarship. And I feel like that just saves them a lot of like time and money to like go find other people who could fit those spots when you could just try to experiment and it'll just like be like valuable for like a scheme because like teams could try to like game plan against one person, but it's tough to game plan against uh one person who could play five different spots. So that's what just and plus the game is like evolving to like
Hmm.
more people has to learn like two to three more spots than usual.
So would you take pride in that versatility then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely you touched on an important point. As things are, as this game's changed, you're seeing a lot of guys who are able to play different spots, and
Mhm.
I do think that's important. So it's definitely that's definitely good to see, and that'll be really cool to see free safety Milton. I was doing my research and I saw linebacker. I was like, okay, talk about linebacker and then free safety. I was like, oh, that's a new thing. So that's what I've got for now, at least. I might have to double up with you at some point when things get normal after the season. But do you have anything that you want to put out there? Anything you want to plug?
Um No, I just thankful that like you were able to like interview me and stuff for your podcast, and like I just hope that like this podcast continues to trend upward as you get like more and more people involved and interview more for more content for yourself.
Oh, yeah, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So Milton Hopkins Jr., everybody. I'm just gonna say this. I was at a lot of the games last year, and it sucks that I didn't get to do that this year, but just from talking to him, it's just, and even just the following on social media just seems like a smart kid. I say kid, like a couple of years. It's weird to say that because I'm not that old, you know, but just humble and works hard as hell. So it's I see big things, and it's really tough to see the way things have gone for like you guys, people in. I mean, you're a senior right now. You should be doing senior things. And it's tough, and it really is. It really is tough, and it sucks. But you know, um, in a way, you might come out stronger from it. Just being able to, I don't know. It's a really unprecedented time, and just I appreciate having you on. So thank you.
Yep, no problem.